Soldier Field opened back in 1924 with the Bears becoming 10 since 71, and what a home field advantage it has become here in Chicago. This was the scene a moment ago as the Bears emerged from their tunnel. Ready for football are they, and ready for football are we as the Bears get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. Just about time to rock as Toe gets ready to meet leather. And off we go from Soldier Field. On the return, it's Tariq Cohen. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They will run for the first time with David Montgomery. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run. And he's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
Now Montgomery. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
On 2nd down, Montgomery. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, and a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. This, the second meeting of these two teams. You might recall they met back in Week 5. And it was the Bears getting the road victory, so they'll look now to take the season series here at Soldier Field. A 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. This defense for the Vikings, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Running for it, Montgomery. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
Well, that's what's called being aggressive right there. But I don't know that it's reckless. I think it's much more of a message, hey, defense, I believe in you in case we don't get it. And offense, trying to let him know he believes in them as well.
I like it. Your first drive of the game in plus territory, be aggressive. 1st down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to convert on third and short yardage with a gain of 4. Had a chance to maybe limit them to 3 if they could have gotten that stop there, but a new set of downs.
And with a new set of downs, you got to take the mentality of the whole thing. Right now, everyone's looking at the offense and saying they've got the advantage. The best defenses just say, okay, new set of downs. Gives us
and they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. A give to Montgomery out of the gun.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down. A shotgun snap, Fields. And all of that, nearly an opening drive INT, but it does fall incomplete. Not the way he wanted to start this ball game as it brings up fourth down. Santos' kick is up and through. And it's 3-0. The Bears hit the scoreboard first. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. These two teams, you may remember, they met up at Soldier Field earlier this season with the Bears winning that one. So they're looking for the series sweep here in Chicago. On second down, it's Cook again. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. 2 yards on the first down carry and then followed up by 2 yards on the second down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on third down to keep the drive going. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 46. They run the counter with Cook. Cook able to escape. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Off the play fake, Mon. He's got Herndon, his tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Back to the ground, this time Cook. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
2nd and 5 now. Mond. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Touchdown! Alexander Madison with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And this late season game, of course, not lacking for drama when you talk about the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah, in a sense, it's the haves versus the have-nots, because this group on offense, they'd be a wild card if the postseason started today, but they know the guys on the other side of the ball are still in that dreaded in-the-hunt category, and they're hungry for a win today.
On 2nd and 7, Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. And sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. 2 of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Another 13 yards there twice in a row, and they're on the move. Another first down as well. And off comes to Montgomery. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Let's go, D. Kill.
Running with Montgomery from the pistol. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. After a gain of 5, they'll wind up being about a length of the football short here on 3rd down. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3.
3rd and inches, they just hand it to the big battering ram there. That's football 101, isn't it? That's bread and butter. Turn around and hand it to the big fella and let him get forward for a first down.
Montgomery. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. David Montgomery Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Bears have retaken the lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite. But the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They start the drive with Cook. And he'll get maybe a couple before he's taken down, as that will take us to the 2-minute warning. The tackle made that time by Bryce Callahan. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Mond's throw pulled in by Jefferson. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Here's Madison running on first down. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Mond going to throw it. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going.
Now a throw here, hauled in. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch,
nowhere to go. Here he lost the football, but a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So danger averted for the moment, but now here's a 3rd and long. Mond looks to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say, we'll see what happens. He's got the leg, but it's no good. He missed it right, and this score will stay right where it is. The long-distance shot before break comes up empty, but now Charles flipped the script. Time for likely one more play as field position becomes an issue.
Yeah, when you talk about field position, remember, if this kick is missed, the ball comes back to where? the spot that they snapped it from. So field position becomes a factor. I think in this spot, you might also want to think about throwing the Hail Mary. You know, put the ball up in the air. Maybe you can get 6 out of it instead of 3.
Yeah, see what happens. And now this throw incomplete, and that is how this first half will come to an end. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And the half will begin with a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now. Hotly contested in the third quarter. Officially nothing on that one, no gains, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
13 yards remaining on second down. Mon now off of play action. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with him.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
A deep ball down that right sideline, and he made sure that he put it where either his guy was going to catch it or no one was.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And that's incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. From the gun, here's Fields. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. DJ able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down. Here's Bradley Pena now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this one goes sailing out of bounds. Where did it cross? Well, they're going to say on this side of midfield. Trying to fire up that running game with Dalvin Cook. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secure before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
Mond out of the shotgun. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll keep pounding here with Montgomery. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. Out of the gun, Fields. Flush to his right, and he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
On first down, Montgomery. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Fields now to throw. Open man is Kmet, the tight end. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
On the carry, it's Montgomery. And shutting him off, now open field. And he takes this one in in for a Bears touchdown. David Montgomery, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bears use the big play to extend their fourth quarter lead. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the second extra point he's missed so far. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. There's still plenty of time here in the fourth quarter. Just a one-possession game, down 8. They'll be looking for the touchdown and two-point conversion. A field goal here on this drive does very little at this stage. That catch good for only a couple.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. To throw again on second down. Mond. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up third down. The Vikings on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. And they go play action here. Mond. Catch is made here by Irv Smith Jr. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play that time through the air. 30 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Here's Mond. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the Bears are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Another important fourth quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And this one is incomplete.
I may be an analyst, but I'm also a fan. I love it when people take the big shots downfield, but he was under a lot of duress, and I think that forced the incompletion downfield. Didn't have a real good chance to find his target.
Throwing on third down, Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he'll punt it away for the second time. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And the Bears force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. Agreed, that's twice now in this fourth quarter.
As a quarterback, a lot of times you think it's all on you to make plays when you're losing. And here, the play's not there, but he throws it anyway.
They'll go to Montgomery to try to wind some clock. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Here's Fields. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
So frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here.
Check 55, check 55, okay, just like that, just like that. Check. 55.
And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out. Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Now after the false start, they need 8 yards here on 3rd down. Fields. And this will be caught by Mooney. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. Wow, a personal foul at this stage in the 4th. Hard to believe.
Really hard to believe, and now that glow of hope that you had begins to flicker out, doesn't it?
Yep. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. Following the penalty, Montgomery. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
On 2nd down, it's Montgomery. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. From the gun, it's a give to Montgomery. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And the Bears are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. It's a nice run there. Gets him down to the 6-yard line. This is where, 4th quarter, you got the lead. You give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
But you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
They try again with Montgomery. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a